Check it out, man. We said the whip would materialize, and it finally did. This is not technically a brand new whip. It's a 2016, but the technology's insane, man. It's got touchscreen navigation. It's got a push remote start. It's got a backup camera. The seats transform shape based upon your spine. So if your spine's shaped a certain way, all you got to do is customize your seat. In the middle of it, the top of it, all kinds of change shapes. Got seat heaters in it and all kinds of crazy shit. What else does it have? It got some, I think I already mentioned the touchscreen bullshit. But there's something else, like with the motorized tailgate, you can put your foot on the part of the bumper or something, tap it with your foot, and then the back tailgate will open and this other thing comes out. It's a lot of automated shit, but if I sat there and I showed you each feature, man, it'd take a long time. And this isn't a vehicle review, bro. This is an update regarding the people who are rocking with our movement on our channel, homie. So I wanted to prove to you, man, what's cracking. A lot of people, they hate, bro. A lot of people are fortunate, spoiled beings, man. They have families with resources, foundations handed to them. They don't appreciate jack shit. They're not even coherent or sober a lot of the time. They're not held accountable. With us, it's pretty much the opposite. Our family is not sober, and they resented us for not wanting to be strung out on dope and committing felonies and rotting in a cage for our entire existence. You know what I mean? So the minute we chose to stop committing crimes, start changing things around and change our mindset only, and acknowledge that we have obligations that tie into the planet, so on and so forth, our own family started to resent us. You know what I mean? That's when the animosity, the jealousy, the sabotage starts to manifest. Not everybody has a sober, coherent family, homie, that wants what's best. You know what I mean? Some people, your family are your enemies, homie. Real shit. Anyways, check this shit out, man. We got the whip from the ground up. Takes a little bit of time because we don't get no welfare check, and we don't have that family of resources and a foundation, you know. A groundwork, essentially. You know what I mean? It's a foundation for success and groundwork that's laid for majority of individuals, but the people in power and brainwash the masses into taking their good fortune for granted, into viewing your good fortune as an entitlement. So when you see a couple individuals like us that manage to get shit from the ground up, and we stop repeating our mistakes, and we believe that we're obligated to evolve and earn our right to be on this planet, most people end up resenting and hating and become jealous and creepy towards that, bro. Most of our fellow human beings resent us, but they're too much of a straight bitch, homie, to say it. So they say it on the internet sometimes, but in person they don't say shit. They ain't on shit, bro. Every great now and then you'll have somebody, maybe they're on one, or maybe they're drinking and growing artificial balls, and they'll be stupid enough to side the back of the hand puts them in reality. There's a logical way to approach anything. We don't initiate altercations, but we solve them when necessary, okay? You don't start shit out of restlessness and insecurities and pride, but you maintain the capability of solving shit when necessary, so you can defend yourself, or a child, or an animal. It's common sense. Common sense ain't common, though, because those creeps in power that I'm always telling you about. Now, people think, oh, well, if I hear these realities, I gotta dwell. Bruh, there's a huge difference between reflecting and dwelling. Reflecting's great. No matter how inconvenient or ugly the truth or reality is that you're reflecting on, you reflect for a few seconds, and you're grateful, bro. You're basically focused on the paramount life aspects instead of caught in the fog and a meaningless carnival in your mind, homie. But people think that if you acknowledge reality or you look at these world-destroying cycles, they don't understand that you reflect on it and not dwell, bro. They assume that they're going to start dwelling. They got no discipline or self-control. They got no true solution-based ambitions, and it's because they're not held accountable. So those logical obligations that apply to us all, they're never acknowledged. I mean, they don't look introspectively. They're just floating through their existence, trying to satisfy themselves and feel cool and tough. Bro, that's goofy as all hell. And that's why people like myself have faced life sentences at certain points. Because people in their pride issues and insecurities and false entitlements. That's a threat to a real one's freedom, homie. So don't rock out like that, dog, because it's creepy. Appreciate your freedom, your family, your good fortune, your health. Don't pretend to be an immortal savage hitman just because you're bored and restless. That's goofy as all hell. That's Tekashi on steroids. I mean, don't be Tekashi 6ix9ine. Everyone's like, but Treyway, man. Tekashi, man. I'm like, bro, that creepy as all hell, homie. The hell you screeching? Anyways, bro, look at the bullshit that happens to the boy and everyone like him. Look at Steve Jobs even. He didn't even pretend to be a hitman like, oh, so many are doing. Steve Jobs just valued his money. He didn't want to grow up. He didn't want to acknowledge reality. He didn't want to earn his right to be on this planet. He looked at that like it was weak. Oh, that snowflake weak. Bro, it ain't nothing to do with politics, homie. The left wing poisons the people unintentionally, handing out vast resources without any accountability. The right wing destroys the planet and our environment for means of profit. Both wings are actively destroying the planet and the people, bro. just in far different manners. But when it's time to evolve and set aside the bullshit and unite and develop solutions regarding all this mayhem, what do? They continue drinking their scotch, wearing their suits, driving either their fancy brand new Range Rover or their little hybrid, telling themselves, I'm a good person. No, bruh. Come on, bruh. Ain't none of us done evolving. Ain't none of us can just look in the mirror and be like, I'm cool, I'm a good person. I'm fool. I never do that, homie. I never look at my own reflection and become enamored and admire myself. That's creepy, though. We grown men and women. We soldiers for what's right. We're not kindergartners on a playground trying to satisfy ourselves and trying to collect all the Legos. Come on, bro. There's a planet. There's a purpose. There's more. And that's liberating. That's freeing, homie. That's fulfilling. Let me know what you think of the situation. What do you think about the whip? I have a short-term memory loss, bro, so I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I told you the model. It's a 2016 Chevy Equinox, okay? And it's a badass vehicle, and we got the 5-year warranty with it. It's got all this technology and shit with it, but more importantly, it's reliable. Now, there was a surplus of these vehicles. Back in, I think, 2011, there was a recall. Some serious shit happened, and people, they get a little scared sometimes. They fixed the problem and everything, but years later, people still remember that recall. So there's a surplus of these vehicles. That's why they're not as expensive as they should or could be. They should be a really expensive damn vehicle with all the, you know, the luxuries and the technology in it and so on and so forth. It's reliable. It's like a superior version of the GMC Terrain, you know what I mean? But its perception is a lot in this society of ours, you know? Not reality, not logic, not research, perception. You know what I'm saying? So people hear about that recall, they remember that recall or whatever in 2011. They're like, oh man, I got scared, man. The time when the Equinox was supposed to make its name, there was a serious recall, and oh, we don't want to even look at that. It's like, bro, you got to research shit, homie. You know, that's what you got to research. There's a lot of cars out there you don't know there's recalls on, or you don't know that there's terrible reviews regarding Kias are blowing up on people. Brand new Kias. People got them for like 2 months. Put 40,000 miles on that bitch and it's smoking black smoke, dead on the freeway, about to kill their fam. Bro, crazy shit happening with all kinds of different vehicles. Some of them seemingly really cool. Some of them older brands. Some of them newer brands that kind of just made their entrance into the automobile industry or field. But regardless, bro, regardless of what the brand is, you can count on Hondas and Toyotas a lot more than you can count on other bullshit. You know, people might not like that shit. It is what it is. I'm in a Chevy, homie. This isn't a Toyota. But I'm going to speak the truth regardless. We don't placate ourselves. We speak the truth. We research. We believe in logic and solution. But Toyotas, when it comes to Highlanders, when it comes to Honda CR-Vs and shit like that, RAV4s, they're expensive, man. You know, you want something reliable, something that's well made, you have to pay a little bit to get them. So, you know, those are really reliable vehicles. But even when you get one that's like a 2013 and it's got 80,000 miles on it, you'll see these Honda CR-Vs and shit. They'll have like 100,000 miles on them. And they'll be like a decade old or something. And they'll still cost you an arm and a leg in a way because they're so damn reliable, man. It's not, and that's not a swindling gimmick. Not everything's a rip-off in our society. It's just a lot of it revolves around swindling and lying and capitalizing on people. Not integrity, longevity, you know what I mean? And unity. That's not what it revolves around. It revolves around profit margins and tricking your fellow man. That's what we're trying to change. But aside from that, that's why you got to research shit. Real, man. Don't jump to conclusions based upon something that may look fancy. You know what I mean? Or, you know, that's crazy, bro. A lot of vehicles that are newer or nicer or look really cool, they're pieces of shit.